sanctions against Iran and what it means for business. I'm joined by the chairperson of the Iran-South Africa Joint Business Council, Celo Rasetaba. Celo, thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, so let's take a look at what sanctions have done to the relationships. I've seen that sanctions have resulted in a drop in trade when you look at South African exports going from 1.5 billion rand in 2007. It's now 250 million rand just last year. So, of course, this lifting of sanctions means something for our relationship, doesn't it?
Yes, these sanctions, particularly the nuclear ones that started in 2006, have had a devastating effect on the people in Iran. But there were also other sanctions that were put in place since the Islamic Revolution in 1979. So if you go to Tehran today, you find people who are still smiling, but who have been devastated economically, social-wise, through these sanctions. They are going to make a difference. Things are going to change in Iran. The question is South African business ready to take advantage of these opportunities that they've worked hard for?
Yep.
Because our government has supported Iran throughout the sanctions. Obviously, business could not do business with Iran because of what we call the unilateral sanctions of the European Union and the United States, which had collateral damage.
Well, let's try and answer that question as to whether or not they are ready, because I read a stat out a little earlier. In 2007, exports going to Iran, 1.5 billion rand.
Yes.
So which says that at some point the relationship was pretty strong. Businesses knew what to do in that country.
Remember, all our refineries are built on a technology to take Iranian crude.
Yeah.
So that is why we were exporting more oil from Iran. We were also importing lots of agricultural goods. Sasol was in Iran, etc. Now, all those things stopped because people could not get paid. Iran was taken out of the SWIFT, what we call the international monetary system. You could not use a credit card in Iran. Our embassy, for example, had to go to Dubai to get cash to pay the salaries.
Yeah.
When we went there with President Ramaphosa, government advised us to say that no credit cards are taken here. You have to come with dollars so that you can transact. That is why I say the trade went down.
Yeah.
Because people could not get paid. But the South African government, again, I want to insist, did not stop to support Iran in whatever way they can. Whether it's a platform of BRICS, the non-aligned movement, they were there to make sure that those platforms, those international fora, do not recognize the international sanctions. But as you know, MasterCard, Visa, American Express are controlled by the Americans. So it was very difficult to transact in Iran.
Well, the Deputy President was in Tehran in November anyway. What you were there as well. What came out of that meeting, and did it set a good foundation for what we could look forward to this year?
Yeah. The unfortunate thing of that meeting was that big business in South Africa did not match what South Africa was trying to do as a country. They did not come, so we had a lot of small and medium enterprises. But the Iranian companies that manufacture industrial goods, products that are used for oil exploration, that could work in our own Operation Pakisa on the ocean economy, opened their factories, etc., to work with South African. You know, they manufacture cars in Iran because they couldn't buy cars from outside. We visited a factory with Deputy President Ramaphosa, where we could see that a company that has been in isolation that managed to build about 4, I think more than 5 power stations, not only in Iran, but in Indonesia and also in Iraq.
Yeah.
And we saw those products. This is a company called Mapna that is at the same power as your Siemens, the big customers of Eskom. But they could not, Eskom could not transact with them because of the sanctions.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there because of time. Thanks very much indeed, Selora Sitaba, the chairperson of the South Africa Joint Business Council, or Iran-South Africa Joint Business Council. Thanks very much indeed for coming in.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Now, public hearings into